guys, we have some significant aspects once again playing out this week, closing out our month of February 2024. Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun are going to come into an exact alignment with each other all at the same degree. Saturn Cazimi and Mercury Cazimi both happening on Wednesday this week. What that means is all week there's probably going to be a greater than normal emphasis on the Saturnian themes in the context of what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, what's going on. Some very significant or important or serious conversations or investments or deals, negotiations, judgments could be coming through this week. Important decisions could be playing a role in our experience this week as well. And we've got a lot of energy to talk about coming together as we close out this month of February. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's talk about all of these transits, how they're aligning, what energy we have going on, and what things might be looking like for us as we close out the month of February. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, February 26th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we are talking about the energy as we have it coming together for today, Monday, the 26th, as we move towards Wednesday, the 28th, which is another one of these real significant days in this month of February, which has been quite full of them. This month has been just a powerhouse of aspect after aspect after aspect that has been calling for personal transformation. If you guys have been following along with me, I've been calling this month of February a hero's journey through the underworld, as we have had a Chiron North Node conjunction, realigning our path moving forward, calling us towards a personal leadership era where we are taking back personal power and setting ourselves forth on kind of like a mission to activate a destiny that maybe we've been quite detached from for a long period of time. And the other side of the energy as it's been coming together this month has been this procession of planets that aligned with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. This is something that hasn't happened in over 200 years, and I've been sort of like jumping up and down about it, just talking about the extremely personally transformative nature, which of course then extrapolates out to the, to like the collective level that has been characterizing this energy this month, and probably a lot of our experiences. By the time that we are finally at this last month of February, you may be looking back over the past couple of weeks and just be like, you know what? I feel myself becoming an entirely different person. Or you may have gone through some experiences this month that have really significantly impacted or changed your life in some type of a way. And if that has been your experience, you're right in alignment with the times, okay? That's what these times are about right now. We are actually, the way like I'm kind of perceiving this is sort of like a cosmic, chiropractic adjustment, like wherever the malalignments have been in the system down to like the most minute level that perhaps have been distorting the flow of energy that needs to streamline right now in such a way to help us anchor in these new Aquarian energies that are the entire vibe over the course of this next 20 years. Now that we have Pluto in Aquarius, at least according to the Western model, and the incoming age of Aquarius that's going to characterize the following 2,000 years after that, the Aquarian themes and archetypes and frequencies and resonance and what it does, how this energy works generally, is going to become a more prominent facet feature of our experience over, really starting now, anchoring this year in 2024. We're wading into this energy, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow until it becomes tidal waves of the Aquarian frequencies that are going to, then become the dominant force that will carry us through, like I said, this next 20 years and then the next 2,000 years on this greater level. We are in strange times, and now, this week and moving forward over the course of the next 6 months or so, we are within 10-degree range conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in the sign of Taurus as well. I'm telling you, you guys, Jupiter is the force of expansion, okay? Jupiter supersizes and blows up all the energy that it comes in contact with. And Jupiter is also about wisdom. It's also about truth. And of course, expansion. It makes things bigger. And we're talking about a conjunction that is building with Uranus. Uranus is the galactic fixer. Uranus brings shocks, surprises. Uranus is the lightning hitting the tower. But ultimately, when we're dealing with Uranus, it is always for the point and purpose of putting things right, for making the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves, because Uranus is an energy that tries to facilitate the highest octaves of potential to occur, okay? When we're dealing with Uranian energy, this is an energy about the future, and the future in the regard of what needs to be changed and adjusted in order to get to that future. So as we're dealing in energy that is moving us towards this, new age of Aquarius that is all about, essentially, it's like an age of knowledge and an age of understanding and an age of self-actualization and like personal alchemy in alignment with that higher destiny, with that higher octave, with that higher potential. This age and this, generation, this Pluto and Aquarius generation as well, which is bridging us into the greater age of Aquarius, like I said, that is going to be defining the course of the next 2,000 years. This is putting us back in an authentic alignment so that the expansion and evolution of universe and conscious awareness, of humanity in this dimension of reality can occur as a reflection of where we're at in these grand cosmic cycles and coming back into a closer proximity with the galactic center, which always indicates like essentially an ascension back into the more golden age energies and out of the Kali Yuga, darker age energies that have been defining our experience through the last several thousand years. And this has been an ongoing process, and it will be an ongoing process. It's not going to happen overnight. Of course, everybody doesn't wake up at once. A lot of people aren't going to, join this party for a while, but these energies, I'm telling you guys, are being anchored onto the planet now. They have been being anchored onto the planet over the course of the past probably a couple hundred years in small ways, but we're at like the epicenter of this transition into the more Aquarian energies. And I find it, it's very interesting to me as well that Saturn happens to be having a transit of the sign of Pisces, while we have these very clear indications of, moving more strongly into the Aquarius energy. Because the Aquarius energy, both moving into the Aquarius generational energy and also the age of the Aquarius energy, which are two different things. The Aquarian generation is defined by Pluto's transit through the sign of Aquarius. The Aquarian age is defined by the precession of the equinoxes and, the sign that we are moving through over that greater 2,000 year period. We're coming out of a 2,000 year age of Pisces right now. The ages, we move backwards through the zodiac. The generations, we move forward. We're coming out of like an 18-year Capricorn Pluto generation right now, but or maybe it was 15 years. It started in 2008, and we are moving into the Pluto Aquarius generation. When we're talking about the generations, that is moving forward through the zodiac. When we're talking about the ages, that is moving backwards through the zodiac. So we're moving into the generation of Aquarius, and we're moving into the age of Aquarius, but because, we were in Pisces and we were also in Capricorn. But like I said, I find it interesting that we currently at this point in time do have Saturn transiting the sign of Pisces, because this energy to me is like diminishing, eroding, dissolving our solidification in both the Capricornian Saturnian energy and also the Neptunian Pisces energy. And, I'm saying that because Saturn is transiting Pisces. Saturn is control, right? Saturn is limitation. Saturn is the 3D matrix. Saturn is the forms and the structures and the frameworks of our beliefs about the reality around us in the sign of Pisces. But Pisces breaks things down. This is the 12th sign of the zodiac. Pisces is about taking that physical solid structure and dissolving it and merging it back into like all there is. You know what I mean? This is a watery energy that dissolves and erodes things. And so when we're talking about the Saturnian influence and we're talking about the control of the, Piscean age, this to me is an indication of the control and the beliefs associated with the control that defined the Piscean age losing their grip, eroding, dissolving, losing the dominant faculty as we move forth into this Aquarian energy that is defining the experience more fully after this month of February. And we've had all of these alignments with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, all the personal planets, everything that we've been talking about. And then not only that, from that same, that same idea, that same concept, Saturn being in the sign of Pisces, this is also the Capricornian energy, the Capricornian influence, the age of Capricorn, right? In that same Piscean energy, the breakdown of the control systems and the authorities of the past. So I find it very like synchronistic actually, that while we have all of this Pluto Aquarius alignment energy empowering and rooting, anchoring these new Aquarian frequencies to the planet through the energetic shifts that are happening within us and our ability really to embody these frequencies and be the anchors, we're actually creating the shift of ages right now, you guys, through the way that we personally are interacting, embodying, and becoming like the root of these new energies, this new age and new generation that will perpetuate forward. We're beginning new legacies right now in a totally different way that are shifting power dynamics, microcosm, macrocosm, and are over time going to lead to the shift of ages. This is important work that we're doing right now, you guys. So if you're going through it, if it feels like a lot, it's not for no reason. And hold your head high and don't forget that no matter what you feel like is stacked against you right now, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you're going to be proud of yourself for whatever it is that you overcame, that you endured through, and who you became as a product or a byproduct or a consequence of whatever you've been facing, whatever you've been going through right now. It's literally not just for you. It is paving the path for generations to come. Okay, this is big deal. And this is also why I've been talking so much about this idea, this concept, this support that we have right now for breaking karmic cycles as well, which is another thing that energy this week is also kind of indicating in abundance. There's a huge emphasis on the past. There's a huge emphasis on what we've been attached to, especially in terms of like our mental conditioning, the thoughts that have controlled our perception of what is possible for ourselves, and therefore, our ability to expand our mind and act in those regards. It could become very clear to us this week where our own self-limiting thoughts or behavior have hindered our growth or progress somehow, or perhaps any state of illusion that we've been in regards to our own potential or our own value, kind of breaking down this week as well. Illusions, you guys, about or that we've been caught up in, any type of hypnosis, if we've been under some type of spell that has been coloring or characterizing or distorting our viewpoint of our own potential or our own possibilities, or even the way that we want to use our energy and like interact with our own reality, the fog is going to be clearing. Okay, the fog is going to be lifting this week. The illusion is definitely breaking down, and what is likely honestly to replace it is some sense of determination to do something, to get a result, to be productive. There's a very driven and focused and sharp mental energy, strategic mental energy that is coming through this week. And the choices, this is representing like wise choices and wise decisions. If they're like, people are going to be making important choices this week, important choices, important decisions, transactions, connections, conversations, interactions, information, things that we're learning that are, opening and liberating and freeing our mind on one hand, but may also be showing us where we have been closed off, or where we have been boxed in, or where we have been controlled also through, the way that we've been thinking, or the way that we've been speaking, or the way that we've just been interacting with ourselves, or again, like these self-limiting ideas or beliefs in the sign of Pisces. Coming to the end of the road, all right, breaking down. And there is also, we've got Venus and Mars traveling together in Aquarius right now. The birth of something new, something that's creative, something that's innovative, something that's like out of the norm for us. That is also very supported right now. We don't want to get too carried away. I will tell you guys. But the thing is, like, I really don't think that we will, because with the nature of the Saturn, Mercury, Sun conjunction that we have this week, which is giving, okay, all of the vibes that I've been talking about thus far. I probably should have said that in the beginning. The reason why I'm saying all of this is because we have a very rare, interesting and serious stellium that is happening this week, conjunction. We have a Saturn cazimi and a Mercury cazimi. That means both Saturn and Mercury coming to the exact, to the minute alignment with the Sun this week on Wednesday, which I will have another video out for Wednesday. So we're going to be talking a lot more about this, in real time as this aspect comes into play on, did I say Sunday? I meant Wednesday. I may have just said Sunday. but I definitely meant Wednesday. So if I didn't say Sunday, for some reason I was hearing that in my head, but Wednesday, we have this alignment coming together, and it's a big one. And again, like, this is what, is giving all the tea that I've been talking about so far. But another interesting thing about the way that energy is coming together, and that is, helping us to see things more critically, helping us to take our time, maybe really analyze some things to make those wise choices, those smart decisions. We also have an exact Mars-Jupiter square in fixed signs, Aquarius and Taurus, that is happening like simultaneously to the Sun, Mercury, Saturn cazimi that we have going on Wednesday. We actually have the Mars-Jupiter square happening Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This is a multi-day transit because both Mars and Jupiter change degrees together, so they are marching, dancing, walking together for the beginning part of this week. And while Mars and Jupiter, like, this is a beneficial transit, it does give us enhanced energy levels, and it does make us just have a very, like, a strong possibility to be successful in our actions. It also, like, on the flip side, we want to make sure that we're not being overly impulsive, that we're not just like jumping headfirst into things, that we're not biting off more than we can chew, or like over committing or over promising, overindulging, overeating, overdoing it in any type of way, or getting ego carried away with the Mars Jupiter square. Like, this could also be, these are kind of some of the red flags that we need to look out for personally. Like, this is energy where we could kind of like get so far ahead of ourselves and feel so inspired or so, vivacious or like invigorated by the potential of the opportunity or what we feel like we're moving into right now, that we sort of just like throw caution to the wind and like jump in head first without, figuring out how deep the water is, and like get ourselves in maybe a little bit of trouble. Or we don't want to take things too far without like thoroughly, being mindful of the small print and the details. However, if we do have the capacity, which I think we will, I think that because, like I said, of this triplicity alignment, Mercury, Saturn, Sun, this is giving the exact energy that is needed to not abuse, I guess we could say, the Mars-Jupiter square. It's going to like refine our ability to make sure that we're, again, like not getting too ahead of ourselves, or not like just running, full steam ahead on something without really being sure of the proper path to take. I talk about this a lot, actually. I've been talking about this kind of theme as we've gotten more serious into this like early degree Aquarius energy, this like baby Aquarius energy. As I was saying, Aquarius is a sign that is all about the future. When we have strong Aquarius energy going on, a lot of times, and when we've got Mars there, we do have strong Aquarius energy going on, especially in the square to Jupiter, which, like I said, expands and supersizes things. We have a tendency to be focused on the future, on the possibilities of the potential of, the vision that could be, without necessarily paying the same amount of, attention, or just giving the same amount of significance on the process that is necessary in order to get to that desired outcome. There's just a tendency to act for the future when we've got a strong Aquarian energy going on, especially the square between, Mars and Jupiter, and be more concerned with what can be rather than what is. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to, just be overly reckless and overly impulsive because we see the sparkly thing over there and we're just sort of like going off after it. But again, like, I don't think that we will, because of the Saturnian influence that's playing out simultaneously. We do want to slow down, reach this balanced judgment, conclusion, consider all the factors before we act. We also, another interesting thing about how the energy is coming together for us this week, we have a Libra moon that is going on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And when we do on Wednesday, and we'll be talking about this in the video for Wednesday, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself in this video, but we will on Wednesday have the moon in Libra in an exact alignment with the South Node, when we have the alignments between Saturn, Mercury, and the Sun going on as well. I'm telling you guys, like, something, I mean, Saturn and the South Node have some things in common. They're both about the past. They're both about karma. In the sign of Libra, this is justice, right? This is judgment. Saturn is also the judge, okay? The disciplinarian. There is something about like karma, okay, the past, okay, and a release also with the South Node there from perhaps these karmic patternings that we have been stuck in, the boxes that we've been stuck in based on a faulty, like, faulty ideas about ourselves, about our potential, about what's possible for us, about our capabilities. We are breaking out of an illusion, I do feel like, or a group think as well. Again, like a group hypnosis, something about the morphogenic field. Okay, we're talking about the Pisces energy. When I think about the energy of Pisces, this is the fish, right? This is schools. This is like people being connected energetically by way of some type of like a morphogenic field or something that is causing us to all school together and all move in the same order, in the same fashion. And it's this very like all-encompassing type of energy. We're talking about the Pisces energy. This is where we fade back into sort of all that there is and lose the sense of individuality that is represented by the Aquarian energy. So when we're talking about this release with the South Node in Libra from that group field, right? That's what the Libra is an air sign, and it's about connecting and relating to others in a way that supports peace and balance and harmony. When we have the South Node there, that's endings. That's what we're moving away from. This is a breakdown in that mental field that held the group together, which is also what is being indicated to me on one hand by the Mercury Saturn Sun alignment in Pisces. So it's very interesting that all week, as we have these planets together, coming together, at least to start the week and building into the energy of Wednesday, which is, you know, the big moment for that particular activation, we also have the Libra moon coming through that is talking about these very same themes, okay? And to start on Monday, the moon in Libra will be entering the sign of Libra, forming a trine to Pluto, which of course, Pluto in the very beginning degrees of Aquarius is been one of the forces that has set off all of these transformations that have been taking place over this past several weeks and that will continue to grow. Remember, this is not a fleeting energy. This is the energy that is just beginning. We're just getting our toes wet in this right now. It's just beginning to become a tangible part, okay, of the way that we're interacting with our reality. And as we move forth through this year, we're going to notice it a lot more. It's going to become a lot less avoidable. Like, we're not going to be able to hide from the totally like strange things that are happening, and the fact that the way things are working and moving and coming into fruition now are very, very different than they have in the past. Again, we are breaking karmic cycles, like patterns and ways that things have been for long, long periods of time are about to break down and are about to no longer, you know, continue to perpetuate. So that's going to be really strange. And then the flip side of that is, of course, okay, then what? You know, if things have always been done a certain way and then all of a sudden one day they stop going that way, okay, it's like, then what's going to happen next? And I do feel like, you know, this week will, as we, you know, we're also, remember, in a full moon right now, a 2-week period that had a lot to do with opening our eyes to something, an influx of information somehow, like showing us the truth about something. This is a continuation of this energy. And I do think there will be the realization somehow, you know, in some area of our lives, as we go throughout the course of this week, that, you know, the old way, the old world, the old version of something is dying somehow, but also that something brand new and novel is being birthed that completely redefines our lives and experiences. It just reminds me of a shift from like everything being in black and white to suddenly everything being in color, but because we don't have an experience of that color, it's like, okay, so what are we going to do now? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to cause us to have to think and have to, you know, use our mind or use our resources or use our talent or our potential in ways perhaps that maybe we never had thought of before, which would be another side effect of this mental transformation, this conscious awakening, and the cosmic adjustment that's going on right now that is teaching us about ourselves, teaching us about our relationships, teaching us about our own patterns and our own karma and our own subconscious programming. Where do you have, 8, 9, 10 degrees of Pisces in your chart? What house is that in? That's going to let you know where this Sun, Saturn, Mercury energy is likely to be affecting you in your own life, what you're probably focused on, where you might be, reorganizing things. Saturn is also having to do with bosses, authority figures, government, control. Like there could be things having to do with work, career, the father, important, significant conversations. This could also be, new projects. This could be investments, transactions, deals and investments. They're supported for long-term success. The investments, the deals, the negotiations that are happening right now, there is something enduring about them, okay? And they're legitimate. Like, offers that are happening right now are likely to be quite serious. We just don't want to take things over the top. You really want to read the fine print, okay? You really want to make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing all your T's before you truly commit to something. But if you do, the outcome of whatever it is going to be successful, and it's going to be long lasting. Again, not a fleeting energy, laying the groundwork for the new age, okay? The new legacies, the new generations, the new karmic cycles, okay? It's our opportunity now to try to, lay these foundations and, birth this new paradigm in a way where we're going to be unencumbered by the subconscious programming, the unhealed trauma, the karmic cycles of the past. We can't take those things with us forth into the age of Aquarius, which is another reason a lot of people are probably really going to be going through it. Unfortunately, we've got a very strong, both fortunately and unfortunately, depending on your perspective, we have a very strong Chiron North Node influence right now as well. A lot of people are going through periods of necessary suffering that will birth wisdom, okay? That will birth self-mastery, that will birth a process of like internal and personal like transmutation and alchemy out of states of victimhood that have been debilitating our ability to achieve a higher purpose or a higher destiny. That's another like aspect of the way that this energy is coming together right now to help us root the Aquarian frequencies. The Aquarian energy, again, like this has to do with self-actualizing, okay? And helping us to align with the highest possible potential of conscious evolution, soul evolution in this life. We can't do that if we are caught in states of victimhood based on unhealed wounds and unhealed traumas that attach us to these loops of experience that are a reflection of our past wounding and of our past pain, and feeling like we're up against the same patterns and the same cycles and the same relationships and the same issues over and over and over again. We can't do that if we are going to transition into the age of Aquarius. We can't self-actualize if we're, operating from the lower rungs of Maslow's hierarchy, right? Like if we, and I'm saying that sort of as a metaphor for where our focus is. Like if we are caught in these situations where we're constantly reflecting and attracting to us reflections of our own unhealed trauma, the reason why that happens, you guys, is to help us gain an awareness of it. If it's not like in our face from a kind of like cosmic universal perspective, we have a lot lowered ability to gain an awareness. So a lot of times, when we find ourselves caught up in these cycles of toxicity or abuse or victimhood, even if we feel like we play no role in it whatsoever, it is happening to show us, or just, energetically, it's because, we don't have an awareness of, or we haven't shifted our perspective in such a way that helps us to release ourselves energetically from the frequency that is aligned with that suffering. In order to do that, a lot of times we have to come to a point where there's nowhere to go but up, okay? And we, go through sort of like this spiritual awakening where we realize that the pain that we've experienced and the trauma and the victimhood is a tool in our own soul's awakening and growth and evolution. And it's really our decision to come to a point to choose to extract the power that we have gained and the wisdom that we have gained from all the negative experience, all the painful experiences that we've been through. And eventually, as a part of this process, we'll come to a point where we will be able to view, the situations that we went through as the means through which we were able to evolve and ascend. And at that point, forgiveness becomes the name of the game, because the perpetrators who, had victimized us are now the catalysts to our own growth, to our own wisdom, to our own personal power. And because we are able to release the victimhood that defined us in the past and embrace the self-mastery and the wisdom through the experience and the power through the pain that we gained through those processes, we change the entire course of the future and everything that comes from us and is associated with us moving forward. And again, this is a part of the process of anchoring this new energy on the planet right now and dissolving the karmic ties from the past that have kept us in these perpetual cycles of trauma. I mean, humanity is a traumatized species, you guys. We are dealing with massive amounts of collective trauma right now, and a lot of us, the role that we're playing right now is to sever the ties with the past. And that's another thing, we cannot allow our lived experience up until this period of time to define the potential for our future experience moving forward now. Has it always been that way? No, it hasn't always been that way, especially over this course of this past 20 years as we've been coming out of the Piscean age, which is all about schooling together, right? And everybody being on the same frequency. And the age of Capricorn, which was perpetuating that. All the power in the sign of Capricorn, which is about maintaining the structures and the hierarchies and the systems of the past. But now we are, This energy is different. This energy is agitating growth. This energy wants novelty, It wants the technicolor, like we're not in black and white anymore. And yeah, it's going to be an adjustment. Yeah, it might totally disorient us as we're moving forth into this new reality on like a frequency energy based level. But it's going to be a good thing ultimately. And I'm telling you guys, the things that are happening now, the choices, the decisions, the change, the transformation, you won't regret it moving forward. But don't get ahead of yourself, Don't overdo it, and just allow things to fall into place. Things are falling into place. There is a very synchronistic, destined, divine air to most things right now, So this week, Saturn and Mercury together, baggage, burdens, karmic loads, things that were not seen or understood clearly about the past, the breakdown of illusions, authority, control, career bosses, right? Like I said, father figures, things to do with hierarchy, like these things could be breaking down. And also, Saturn is the weight of the world on the shoulders. Could be a palpable vibe that we have going on as well. Serious discussions, important conversations, revelations, planning, organizing, making these crucial choices and decisions. This is definitely a week about like facts over feelings. Don't expect people to be real soft and fuzzy in the energy this week. People are going to be kind of like about the cold, hard truth, like the harsh reality, like calling a spade a spade. And if people are, take all criticism this week as constructive criticism. And if you can't take it as constructive criticism, just drop it off. Don't pay it no mind. People probably just are going to be sort of like hypercritical, hyper judgmental when we're talking about Mercury and Saturn. This is lots of judgments going on, flying all over the place. People got a lot to say, like harsh criticism, right? Like I said, breakdowns of past boundaries, limitations, rules, and control systems, authority. I've been talking about this. Anything is possible, though. This is helping us to transition from a worldview where we may have been very boxed in terms of the morphogenetic field, maybe, or our mental field generally that we've been interacting with, opening us up to perhaps, the sign of Pisces, right? This is the unlimited like potential and unlimited possibility and like all that is. So anything is possible, and that is something that we're awakening to, as well as the illusions of stagnancy and the illusions of limitation. Saturn can also be fears, You know, of course, also like rules, restrictions, control systems, all this stuff breaking down on some level while we simultaneously are realizing, you know, that we're seeing things differently, our perspective is shifting, and maybe more is possible, or maybe we want more than we thought we did, you know, on some level. Intellectual precision, sharp critical faculty, Mercury and Saturn. This is also likely to be a thing that's going on, breaking down illusions that limited our mind and that limited our vision, releasing us from past mental conditioning. I feel like I've said that a million times, but I'm saying it again. And it's a fantastic week for working on anything future focused, effort towards goals. Don't succumb, like I said, to negative thinking. That can be one of the detriments or the downfalls with the Mercury and Saturn, just being kind of like the inner critic, like having its way with us. And again, we don't want to go there. If it's not productive, if your mindset is not productive to your growth, if your mindset is not productive to generating change, if your mindset is not productive to the possibilities of what could be, then you need to alter your mindset or perspective, not necessarily like be hard on yourself. Okay. It could be just like, you know, your mind that needs to be recalibrated a little bit or readjusted a little bit in this energy, and not your personal potential as an individual. Okay, so we don't want to be too hard on ourselves. Now, again, the energy is likely to be kind of going in these two different ways. It is contradictory. You know, a lot of the same stuff I'm saying is contradictory. On one hand, you know, because we're talking about Pisces. This is two fish swimming in opposite directions. This can be a very polarizing energy, and also the sign of Libra, the scales. This is a polarizing energy as well. Dissolving authority, control, limitation, and regulation on one hand, right? These illusions of control breaking down, these illusions of fear breaking down. But on the other hand, this narrowed focus, this mental control, mental precision, discipline, slowing things down, scrutiny, judgment, criticism. So we're on one hand, you know, there is the breakdown of authority. On the other hand, there's also the solidification of things. What are we solidifying? We're solidifying the changes that are taking place within our mind and the new frameworks we're establishing for the new legacies we're laying now. And what it is breaking down is the previous frameworks of reality, the previous belief systems that held us captive or kept us trapped in a prison of our own cognition. Okay, so that is, I feel like, how this energy is functioning on higher levels in the context of the overall cosmic blueprint that is opening right now as well. Yeah, so justice, judgment, lots to talk about it regarding the past. Fated wounding, all right, that's another like thing that's going on right now. Like if you find yourself in situations where you're just experiencing some excess suffering, you can't, you know, especially if it's about relationships, toxic relationships, like where we've been attached to things that have been stealing our power, where we have had a distorted mental view of ourselves or our value or our resources or our potential. This is what is breaking down. And again, things to do with the past could really be coming up, and the wounding, the suffering that's going on right now. I believe through experience that sometimes that is what it takes to wake us up, to snap us out of it. And that is what is going on a higher level. And the Mars-Jupiter square, that is sort of like the cherry on top of all of this energy this week. The force of change, right? Mars in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about change. Mars is the action that is happening. The force of change, it does win this judgment. So if you're, you know, if there's a situation where you're sort of weighing things, the scales are weighing out, you know, lots of judgment, lots of justice type of energy going on right now, things are going to be weighted on the side that is supporting creative change. The force acting right now to create authentic change, not the force acting to like solidify things from the past. Okay, if there's two sides of a story, or if there's two things playing out right now, the newer, fresher, active energy is what is going to win out over the stagnant, older energy that might be trying to repress change. Okay, the force acting to create authentic change for the highest good of all, right? This Aquarius humanitarian energy gains the ultimate victory through breakthrough and through struggle, overcoming challenges. That might be another thing, you know, Saturn and Mercury, this is difficult conversations, okay? This is harsh information. This is a harsh reality check. Like, that's what this is. This is a wake-up call. This is a reality check. This is the light bulb coming on. This is the wool coming off the eyes, right? This is us seeing something that we didn't know what was going on, perhaps, and being like, whoa, I had no idea. Like, I need to take this seriously, and I really need to, like, actively change some things as a result of that. This is the necessary righting of things as we move towards this Aquarian energy, a period of sudden change. This whole 2024 year is going to be like that. The dominoes are being realigned so that they fall down according to like the perfect pattern, right? The circuitry is being rewired to like facilitate a better flow, or maybe you're talking about like the snap circuits or whatever to like light up a different energetic or a different electric pattern, okay, than like what has been being lit up until this point of time. And this will probably be, you know, as I started saying, an unusually significant week somehow in terms of plans, investments, news, media, choices, decisions, conversations, agreements, information generally, planning to be done with something, planning to begin something new, figuring things out, implementing a new strategy, huge energy levels with the Jupiter-Mars square happening as well, shaking things up, breaking things out of a rut, and acting as a force for productive change. So that's basically what I have to say, you guys, about the way that the energy is coming together to start this week. I do like the energy of this week. Again, it's a really good week to take action to make things happen. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you're not being reckless, not being overly impulsive, not getting like too excited and whipped up about things, that you're, you know, one foot in front of the other, like doing things in the proper way to get to that very positive desired outcome that is very possible right now. And we've got some symbolism that is supporting this as well as we're starting our week this week. The position of the sun on Monday, 8 Pisces, a girl blowing a bugle. Sound the trumpet, you guys. Like, we've got an announcement. Something is coming. Something is happening, right? 8 degrees of Virgo, where the earth is. A girl takes her first dancing instruction. We have Mars at 11 Aquarius. During a silent hour, a man receives a new inspiration that may change his life. So starting something new, embarking on, you know, something new that could be really enjoyable to us somehow, or, you know, receiving some type of insight, revelation, epiphany, inspiration, right? Like verbatim, according to the symbolism, that changes the life. A shift in perspective that changes the way we're proceeding, moving forward. And then the position where we have Jupiter, a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers in the exact square to Mars to start this week. What are we watering, right? What are we cultivating? We're getting this inspiration, this life-changing shift, okay? And then we're watering it, and then we're nurturing it. We're cultivating it, and it's going to grow into something beautiful. And then the position of Saturn, and we're going to be talking a lot more about this degree on Saturday, or not Saturday, Aubrey, on Wednesday, when we have this alignment happening, because this is the degree actually where that alignment will happen, 10 degrees of Pisces, in terms of the Sabian symbol placement. And that Sabian symbol is an aviator in the clouds. So gaining clarity, context, and direction, you guys, the illusions breaking down, the fog breaking down, where we've been navigating blindly, suddenly gaining some perhaps instantaneous clarity that is again acting as a source of inspiration or an epiphany, or just changing things dramatically for us somehow. So that's really what I gotta say today, you guys, about the astrology. It'll be very interesting to see how things play out for us this week. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. I forgot to mention in my intro that I've got a tarot reading for us today as well. This has been a long video, so I'm going to make this brief. But this tarot reading to me is talking about, you know, being a bit cautious about temptations right now, really paying attention to, you know, our intuition, to perhaps the insight or the inspiration, or, you know, the sudden downloads or the wake-up calls, the judgment calls that may be coming to us in this energy, and to have faith in our power and our ability to move on and to move forward in a better direction, okay? Like, we need to believe in our ability to make things happen for ourselves for the better right now, but it's likely to require us to kind of go in a new direction, maybe turn our back on something that has not been fulfilling us or has not been, you know, just like the most supportive for us somehow. It's time to move on from one thing you know, and we know that because we're talking about our monthly South Node moon transit that's coming into alignment with Mercury and Saturn and the Sun on Wednesday. Endings and beginnings, releasing the old, right? This Piscean energy, this Capricornian energy, and embracing the rebirth, right? Venus and Mars coming together, this creative potential for dynamic change that is moving us forward in this new direction. Let's talk about the specific cards that came out. We have the interesting, all right, we've got the Nine of Cups, we've got the Devil, and then we've got the Knight of Cups, followed by the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Judgment call. This is like this energy may not be for, you know, everybody. It may only be for a couple of you out there, but this is talking about being a little bit skeptical of what people are offering us right now, okay? There could be some strong temptation that is coming through, and I see that also, like I've been talking about with the Mars-Jupiter square. There could be some kind of temptation that is going on to like draw us back into maybe some past patterns, or to try to keep us attached to things that we were working on from the past. There's an adherence to the girl blowing the bugle, right? There's an adherence that we should follow in regards to whatever clarity is coming to us, whatever like wake up call might be, you know, playing itself out in our experience this week. If there is an intuition, or if we feel like there's like a higher calling that is, you know, kind of poking at us, this is not the week that I would deny that, okay? It's trying to move us forward in this better direction. It's trying to bring us back to a place of personal power that is going to detach us from the karmic cycles of the past that perhaps had been false promises on one level as well, when we're talking about the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups. But just like be a little bit careful, you know, there could be just, and on the back of the deck, we had the Magician and the Six of Swords. That's why I'm saying like, we have the power to move ourselves forward somehow in a way that is ultimately going to be beneficial to us and distance us or detach us from things that maybe have not been leading to our fulfillment and our happiness. But just want to be careful. Don't take every offer that comes to you necessarily in the energy this week. Do your due diligence, right? Dot the I's, like cross the T's, make sure you're paying attention to the fine print. We don't want to like move forward. We don't want to like accept an offer that's just going to be kind of like a dead end, or like stop us in our tracks, or like prevent our progress moving forward. But we've got this Judgment energy, okay? So pay attention, trust your intuition, you know. You're likely to receive, like I said, you're likely to receive some type of insight this week that is going to help you make an important judgment or something on some level. Let it be towards self-empowerment that is moving you forward, not some offer that is actually going to keep you attached to the lack of like fulfillment or manifestation, or something that may have actually been detaching you from, you know, receiving a state of wish fulfillment or something in the past. That's what I'm going to say about the tarot, you guys. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. One last piece of advice. God, Spirit, Universe, what do we need to know moving into the energy this week? What should we keep in mind? Here we've got one. And it says dream, which really is a perfect card in the context of this Pisces energy that we have going on. That's another thing with Saturn and Mercury in the sign of Pisces. I didn't mention this yet, but this could be some like lower, like we could feel sort of drained, okay? Like it could be, we could feel kind of just like tired, and wanting to just spend some time maybe more in like a focused meditative state. This is a powerful manifestation energy as well, you guys. And like I was saying, while on one hand, it is indicating, you know, control and limitation and duty, responsibility, baggage, you know, the weight of the world, focus, criticism. On the other side of that, like it is also functioning to open us up to possibilities that we may have been closed off to in the past. And this card is saying dream, which is perfect for a Pisces vibe, okay? And shout for joy, all ye who are upright in heart, Psalms 32:11. Your biggest joy will be in the knowledge that you have overcome setbacks and disappointments. Be persistent, believe in your dreams, and continue going forward. God does not give us a dream without also giving us the means to attain that dream. That's what I'm saying, you guys. The setbacks, the disappointments, the difficulty, the challenges that we're facing, that we're overcoming now, that we're persevering through, that we're navigating, these are the very things that are going to eventually, as we go through the process of overcoming them, make us into the person that is able to align with, attract, and receive the greater wish fulfillment and the opportunities and the potential that we're realizing is available to us now, if only we crack out of our paradigms of the past that maybe have been holding us hostage to a version of ourselves in reality that was not truly authentic, not truly real, and not truly a reflection of all that we are, of all that we're meant for, and of all that we will become once we make those realizations. Okay, so dream is the guidance for our entrance into this week as we head into this energy, and I feel like that's some good guidance for us. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna say today, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. I am so grateful for your presence here, you guys. I really value your feedback, what you guys have to say. If you're having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. I really appreciate your feedback and your presence here on my channel. Thank you guys so much. I love you. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, you can find it in a Facebook group that I have linked in my description box below. I post pictures of the whiteboards there, and Janice Shellman, the creator of the synchronicity cards, she also posts the synchronicity cards there. So that's where you will find those, and come back with me on Wednesday, you guys. We will be getting right back into this Mercury Sun Saturn energy, and we will also still have the exact Mars Jupiter square going on. Lots more astrology to talk about. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, guys. Have a beautiful opening to your week. And until then, bye.